The first round of the 2026 playoffs is almost over, and honestly, it's been a mix of exactly what people expected and some pretty wild surprises. Starting with OKC, they swept the Suns, which really wasn't shocking at all. The Thunder just looked like a complete team right now, and it's going to be really hard for anyone to take them out. Shea was straight up cooking the entire series, averaging 33 points and 8 assists while shooting 55%, which is just insane efficiency for that kind of volume. He controlled every game, picked his spots perfectly, and never really looked rattled. At this point, I totally get why people are calling him the best player in the league right now because he is doing everything at an elite level and making it look easy. Then you got the Spurs versus Blazers series, which ended in 5. Hey, at least Portland avoided the sweep, but outside of that one win, they were getting handled pretty easily. This was Wemby's first playoff series, and he lived up to the hype for sure, averaging over 20 points and 4 blocks. His presence alone changes everything defensively and offensively. He's just so hard to guard because of his length and his skill. Scoot Henderson did have that crazy 31-point game in game 4, which was surprising since he didn't even hit 30 points once during the regular season. That game definitely showed flashes of what he could become, but overall, the Spurs were just the better team. Lakers versus Rockets went to 6 games and had that a little bit of drama. The Lakers went up 3-0 and it looked like it was about to be another sweep, but then the Rockets took games 4 and 5 and suddenly people started wondering if a comeback was possible, especially with Kevin Durant not playing in those 2 games. It felt like momentum might be shifting, but the Lakers shut all that down pretty quickly in Game 6. LeBron, he did have some great moments, especially early in the series, but you could definitely see him struggle more so between games 4 through 6, especially with his shooting. Still, when it mattered, the Lakers got it done without too much stress. One of the bigger surprises was the Timberwolves beating the Nuggets in 6. Considering all the injuries Minnesota was dealing with, not many people expected them to pull it off. Nikola Jokic didn't look like himself this series. His efficiency dropped by a decent amount, and he really struggled when Rudy Gobert was defending him. Plus, his defense wasn't good at all. Jamal Murray had a rough game 6 as well, which didn't help, of course. Meanwhile, Ayo stepping up with that 43-point game in game 2, that was definitely huge and gave the Timberwolves a huge boost. They just played harder and more consistent basketball than the Denver Nuggets. Knicks versus Hawks, another series that also went to 6, and for a moment, it really did look like the Hawks might take it. They had a 2-1 lead. Both games 2 and 3 were decided by just 1 point, so it was super competitive early on. But then games 4 through 6 were a completely different story. The Knicks dominated, especially in games 5 and 6, where they won both games by 25 plus points. It just felt like they figured something out, and the Hawks had no answer after that. Celtics versus 76ers is probably one of the most interesting series because it's going to 7 games. Boston, they had a 3-1 lead, and it didn't seem like they were having much trouble, but everything changed when Joel Embiid came back. The 76ers took games 5 and 6 by double digits, and now all the pressure is on the Celtics. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown have both been underwhelming in those last 2 games. And in game 7, at least one of them for sure, I would say, needs to step up in a big way, or the Celtics, they're going home. Momentum is definitely on the 76ers side as of right now. Cavs versus Raptors is another series going to 7 games, which some people didn't expect at all. There were actually folks thinking the Cavaliers might actually sweep the Raptors, which honestly never made much sense to me. The Raptors aren't that far behind talent wise. Donovan Mitchell was amazing games 1 and 2, but over the last 4 games, he's been, in my opinion, pretty disappointing. James Harden hasn't been great either, averaging a lot of turnovers without really making it up with his high volume scoring or definitely no defense. On the other side, Scotty Barnes has been incredible, putting up nearly 25 points and close to 10 assists per game. And that RJ Barrett shot in game 6 was a crazy, insane shot. One of the best, probably the best moment of the series so far. Finally, Magic versus Pistons is also heading to a Game 7, making it 3 Game 7s in the first round, which is somewhat kind of crazy. The Magic really should have closed it out in Game 6. They had a 20-point lead in the first half and completely fell apart in the second half. Their offense stalled, defense broke down, and the Pistons took full advantage. Now it's all coming down to one game. And after a collapse like that, you have to wonder which version of the Orlando Magic is going to show up in Game 7. Overall, this first round has been pretty entertaining with a good mix of dominant performances and tight series. And with multiple Game 7s coming up, it's only going to get more intense from here. So that'll be it for this video. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. I much appreciate it if you click that like button. Thank you for watching.